Hello, and welcome to another exciting edition of Young People Doing Big Things. Our guest for today is Michael Nwuju, who is a 17-year-old software developer. He is a software engineer at Topship and tech team lead at Keza Africa. He is also the CEO of his own startup, Eddify. A little bit about ESTA. Its After Software Development Academy is a software training academy based in Lagos. The academy runs a 3-month program that trains students to be able to build simple applications. And now, let's make welcome our host, Enoch Olisa, and our guest for today, Michael Woju.
I'm good day, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Young People Doing Big Things. My name is Enoch, and I'm happy to have you here. If you're not joining us for the first time, Young People Doing Big Things is an event that is focused on showcasing what young people in the tech space are building. So on the show, we'll discuss with them, hear about how they started, their journey so far, what they are building, and their aspirations for the future. Is powered by the Ed Software Development Academy, a software training institute based in Lagos, Nigeria. And for this edition, we'll be speaking with Michael Nwuju, a 17-year-old software developer. He's a software engineer at Topship and a tech team lead at Keza Africa. He's also the founder and CEO of his own startup, Eddify. And I'm sure he will have a lot to tell us. So, Michael, you're welcome to today's edition of the program.
Hi. Yeah. Thank you,
Yeah.
everyone. My name is Michael, and yeah, he already said the rest. He already invited me. Then.
So Michael, let's meet you, your name, your age, and will I say your studentship?
So I'll be 18 this year, though.
Okay.
I am the child in my family, the fourth child, and the third son in my family, and so I currently work at Topship, and Topship is the shipping company in logistics space, and I'm the software engineer at the moment. I also like lead the tech team at Keza Africa. So Keza Africa is a fintech that enables you to purchase a phone, and you can pay for this phone in monthly installments, right? And then I recently had my own startup, like very recent, and then it's called Eddify. And yeah, Eddify's goal it's like current right now is to bridge the gap between education happiness and students, right? The long gap is really a long gap. I'm trying to bridge the gap, and not just students, but even to other end users. I mean, I'm speaking parents, teachers, school owners, to any person in it, like just think of it like a Fiverr, maybe in the education space, maybe. Yeah, that's about me.
Okay, that's nice. That's nice. It's nice to have you once again, Michael. Okay, Michael, our viewers would like to know, when did you start coding?
Okay, so I started coding like 2021, June. Yeah, that's when I started coding. 2021, that's when I actually started coding. Although I'd learned WordPress from 2020, but I was using WordPress at the time. It was nothing serious, right? I still started WordPress. And
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's nice to hear. So take me through your thinking process, Michael. What are the things that went through your mind that made you start coding? Like, why did you start coding? Why did you get into tech?
So fun story, right? So before even the idea of tech, my whole mind was bent on going to school. Like I was focused on entering school. So I mean, I did a lot of like, I did post-CME, right? And I just kept on, I kept on reading. But then I was like 5 points behind the cutoff for my course, 5 points, and that was like pretty scary. And I tried applying to the school, telling them that okay, I could, like they should just help me, maybe put me in another course, like it's be fine. I was literally begging for admission at the time, but then I didn't get admission, and At the same time, there wasn't even money at home, and so I couldn't even get a proper UTME form to register again for that 2021. And so at that time, I saw it as a big failure. Like I was not in school and I was broke at the same time. So I felt like I had not achieved anything. And for the first time in my life, I was going to repeat a stage in life which I'm not used to, like because I'm always like 18 until that particular time. So it was a lot of mental breakdowns for me until I remember that okay, I was doing WordPress before. I used to WordPress. I used to learn WordPress, but I was like, let's start actual coding because the goal for me that time was okay, if I apply again next year, because I wanted to apply computer science, computer engineering, any of the two. I was like, okay, now that I know if I get enough coding knowledge, right, enough coding knowledge, I will use it in school later on, so I can is like I also want to start preparing for next year. I had no idea that the coding I'll learn today will land me here. No idea. And so, I mean, June, I can't forget, June 3rd, my two brothers left home. One went to surf and the other went to school. And so just me and my younger one. And then I started coding. And what also really inspired me was this good friend of mine, Pleasant Balogun. So Pleasant Balogun is a 16-year-old software engineer as well. Now he's CEO of ZPay and Aero South Africa, right? And then I mean this guy at the time he was 15, right? And I'm seeing this guy is coding and he's coding from his phone, like very funny, like wow, he's coding from his phone, and he was able to push his own CLI from his phone. That was very, very inspiring for me. That really moved me because I think that was the last push I needed to start coding. So I mean I went head on and I started coding around June, and I started to enjoy coding because it was the first activity that felt good for me because I would write piece of code and it would come out where I wanted it, right? HTML and stuff. And I really enjoyed coding. In fact, I started as in every day I was coding every day. From that day henceforth, I started coding every single day. And that is what pushed me to start coding actually. And then the issue I had where I couldn't
the experiences. I mean, that's been a very, I mean, it's turned out well, I must say. I mean, so you didn't allow the challenges and the setbacks you had that really set you back. You were able to find your way around it. Awesome journey you've had, Michael. Okay, so Michael, we'd like to know your stack. Like, what are the coding technologies and tools you're proficient in?
Okay, so the language I'm very fluent in is JavaScript. And then of course I do TypeScript as well. So TypeScript is a language actually. It's just a superset of JavaScript, right? But I prefer TypeScript more because it's JavaScript with types. And then my stack is MERN. I do MERN stack, which is Mongo, DB, Express, React, and Node. So these four tools, when brought together, we actually make a full stack of application. So this is my stack.
Okay, awesome. And so far, what's been your highest points? Like, what has happened so far where you're like, wow, is this me?
Well, I think for starters is getting this job first. I mean, getting the top job at Topship. It was really big for the rest of the people. I'm the youngest among them. In fact, when I saw the job requirements, I saw the requirement like it was so that that needs to have a BSc, right? So I needed to be I should have gone to school and stuff like that. But I didn't have any of that. So, and then I still got a job, and that was my great achievement so far. There's also me because I was an engineer at Keza Africa, and so like me being like building the whole tech ecosystem of Keza Africa, literally. It's also my achievement as well. So you can check out KezaAfrica.com, by the way. You can check it out, and you can see what I built essentially.
Yeah. I mean, that's a real high point, and that's also very nice to hear. So, well, even though I can hazard your answer to this question, let me still ask it. Has software development opened doors for you?
Oh, I think it's quite evident. I don't know if that's a question for me, to start with,
Yeah, I mean,
because
it's
like I said earlier, right? I started coding because I want to get prepared for next time I enter school to learn computer engineering, so that because I knew that programming would be a requirement somewhat, right, in engineering courses, and I wanted to just start learning it now so that I could do better there. But I had no idea that coding will actually get me here, like no idea, and I never had plans of becoming software engineer because I always felt like it was a big thing. It was impossible to reach. But then, well, it has opened doors for me. That's the answer. Big
that's
doors.
nice to hear, Michael. Okay, Michael, one thing I believe is that mentorship has a way of showing people who are coming, I mean, showing people who are coming behind the path to take. So I will ask, do you have mentors in coding? Are there people you look up to?
Yes, yes. I mean, there's one I look up to. And his name is Daniel Arause. So Daniel Arause is a software engineer, works remotely like a top company outside of Nigeria. And he's a very experienced software engineer, literally. And I mean, when speaking with him, I can already tell the experience he has in terms of what to use, when to use, how to use it, how best, right? And then, I mean, he is my mentor because he led me to where I am today. Right? He really took me by my right hand and got me here. So he is my mentor.
Wow. That's nice to hear. And if somebody asks you, Michael, is coding hard? What will your response be?
Well, my response would be that nothing is easy, right? To start with, nothing good comes easy. So understand first that it is hard, and that is actually fine. Now, what really matters to me is that you enjoy that you are coding, because to excel in a field like coding, you need to actually have passion, because there are always going to be days that you get frustrated by bugs, right? And those other funny stuff. Yes, it's going to happen. You can't avoid it. But then, if you enjoy coding, you find a way around it at the end of the day, right? And so, if you ask me, yes, it's hard. It's hard. I won't lie to you. It's hard. But then, if you enjoy coding, if you have the passion for coding, you really enjoy what you're doing, you waste it. You will.
Okay, that's nice to hear. I trust our viewers are getting some insights from some of the responses of Michael. Nothing good comes easy, but the most important thing is that you should love what you are doing. Thanks so much, Michael. So very quick one, Michael. I know we devs love things like this. That's the next question I want to ask. That's the gadgets and the machines that we use. So I'll ask you, Michael, do you have a dream computer?
You have a tree computer. I I I don't know. I do. I mean, I think I'm using one right now because I'm using a Mac as we speak.
Wow.
Yeah. So Mac has always been my dream actually. I didn't know any type at all. Just started with Mac because of
Wow.
the people.
Yeah.
Right. Mac was really odd. Like Mac is really great, right? Like, but everything is soft. But yes, Mac is my dream computer.
Wow, that's nice. And nice to hear you are using it. That means at a very young age, you're already living your dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can say that.
that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, let's also ask another question based on dreams too. I mean, do you have a dream company? What's been your dream company? Like maybe any of those tech companies out there that you would have wanted to work for or you want to work for in the future?
Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. I mean, it's Google. I would like to work at Google one day in the future. And here's why, because Google is a very, 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 very problem-solving driven company. Like they have pros for everything, which is very funny. They have pros for literally everything. They have Google Classroom, right? Which is something I've never heard of before, right? Maybe you have because you're in the edtech space. But many people have never heard of Google Classroom, but it's a very, very capable product. And I like how they are free. Their products are actually free, and they still earn a lot from the other means of income. But then Google is, I just love how they're problem solving driven, one, and how they're trying their best to reduce the problems in the world. Like if you go to a Google company, right, you won't see things that pollute the air, like generators. No, they use renewable energy resource, right? And then I mean, they even use bicycles to transport themselves in the company, which helps the workers to get exercise as well and work at the same time. And literally, it will be a dream come true if I work at Google one day in the future. Yeah, Google is.
And yeah, that's nice, Michael. I'm very optimistic that dream will come true very soon. Okay, so let's talk. I mean, what are your plans for the future? Okay, do you see yourself, I mean, in the next maybe 10, 20 years, finally working for your own company? Or do you see yourself maybe working for a company like Google?
Okay, so my future, I would just like to see myself solving problems. I think that is what drives me, right? That's what gets me on solving problems, and it could be anywhere. In fact, okay, deep down, I'd like to continue my software engineering career till maybe till when I'm like 20 or 30, right? But then I would like to become a physicist in the future. I like physics a lot, and then there are still some big mysteries in physics that we don't know about yet, and I would like to be one of the people that unravel these mysteries, right, in the future. So yes, my future, I look myself in the next 10 years, I would like to be, well, still coding, right? Hopefully at Google, maybe solving the next big world problem. That would be great. And also I would like to be a physicist in the future. And so physicist, I mean, trying to find some kind of theory, some kind of law that would unify, because right now the big issue is quantum gravity. Sorry, I'm talking too much, I'm talking too fast.
No,
But the
no,
big issue
you're
now,
not, Michael.
yeah,
Yeah.
the big issue is quantum gravity, right? Trying to unify the laws of physics, all the laws and notions of and forces of physics, right? It's a big issue right now as we speak, and it's a problem, right? And needs to be solved by someone. And I hope that in future that someone is me. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's some nice and big plans for the future. I'll take that from you, Michael. Like, so your immediate future is just keep solving problems, either in a company or either on your own. The passion to solve problems, that's what's it's on your mind. Nice to hear that from you, Michael. Okay, Michael, let's now move to business and nation building. I mean, what are those easy problems around us that you feel softwares should be able to solve?
I think a pressing problem that needs to be solved by tech could be regarding the political side. And I mean, what I mean is that, like, voting and stuff. I realize that voting for people is still human, like it's still done by humans and it's still kind of manual, where we know for that tech can actually solve this problem. I mean, there's so many limitations. I mean, people still ballots, right? Ballot papers and all. These things could be reduced by tech, and I mean, if software came in, there'll just be need for biometrics, right? I just know that for a fact that software can solve those problems, and that will increase accountability because now it's computers that are doing it and not humans. That will also increase precision as well. So I also think software can come in the education sector. I noticed that in Nigeria, like software has really gone into financial side, fintech. There are a lot of companies on fintech area right now. And then there's also education that also needs help. And then the education side, what I see in the education side is that there are a lot of startups focused on the students, right? On the student, which is okay by me, it's fine. Because of course, student is the primary stakeholder in the education sector. But then I also believe that we could also reach out our hands to help out the other people who are quite important to these students, but are the least recognized, right? And which is why I currently have a startup called Eddify to solve that problem. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice, Michael. I mean, I can relate with some of the things you've said about the education sector. It's very important that we have solutions for each stakeholder in the sector. Okay, let me also ask this. Do you feel, I mean, on a more holistic scale, software development is underutilized in Nigeria?
Yes, of course. That's a very, very obvious question. It is very underutilized. I mean, there's so many things that software engineering will solve. and even the access to it. I mean, we still have villages in Nigeria, we still have rural areas that they don't even know how to operate a phone, right? Imagine, right? I mean, this is really sad, very, very sad. But yes, it is utilized, and there's also a lot of restriction or some kind of like barriers to it. People can't even have access to these things. And so, yes, it is unutilized.
Okay. Thanks so much, Michael. We'll be rounding up now. We'll just ask two more questions and we'll call it a day. What advice do you have for someone thinking of going into software development? So a young person out there wants to start coding. What advice do you have for the person?
I think for starters, what I would advise is that first off, you need to ensure that you actually enjoy coding. That's always my 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 issue with people. First of all, ensure that you actually like what you're doing. Any field at all, right? You need to enjoy what you're doing to actually progress. So enjoy that you're coding, right? Now, to the more, I think you should also follow the times, right? So that the times now, everybody is trying to do JavaScript. At the same time, the times everybody is transitioning to Web3, right? There's a lot of hype around Web3 and blockchain. And so I think I will tell you that, okay, follow the times, but still maintain some kind of principles, right? Then when you become a software engineer, I will tell you that you should learn code every day. Actually, if you want to go anywhere, literally, you need to practice every day. I mean, code as much as you can and practice every day. Because you're coding, encountering problems, and encountering problems in relation to Google, and Google tries to talk about flow. And you're watching YouTube videos, and you just keep learning all these things day by day, and you see how you're going in knowledge. Now, once I've gone in knowledge, enough knowledge, the next thing I will tell you is that you should actually reach out to startups or teams or companies that are just building. I will tell you should join a company or join a team to build with them, because it's from there you learn communication skills. From there you also learn how to work with people, how to adapt to teams. It's a very important thing as a software engineer, because you shouldn't live in one whole company the rest of your life or a whole space rest of your life. You're going to keep on moving from place to place. Yeah, you're going to be mobile, right? And so you need to learn how to adapt to whenever you come, adapt to this environment, adapt to the environment. And then one last thing would be keep healthy people in your circle, right? Keep people that are healthy to your growth, people that are beneficial to your growth. Keep them very close to you. Keep them in your circle. Avoid toxic environment. Avoid toxic things that would stop you, right? And yeah, that's my advice.
Okay. Okay. Thanks so much, Michael. And lastly, I'm very sure some of our viewers would like to follow you on different social media platforms. So can you kindly call out your social media handles?
Okay. To start with, I'm not a social media person. So, but yeah, on Facebook, on Michael Nwuju, right? On Facebook.
Yeah, Michael Nwuju.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's Nwuju. Yeah, on Twitter, Michael underscore Nwuju, right? It's very simple, right? And then same thing goes for Instagram, right? Then there's also LinkedIn, right? LinkedIn, Michael Nwuju as well. It's the same.
Okay. And with that, we come to the end of our discussion with Michael. Michael, it's been nice speaking with you. I mean, when I speak with young guys like you, and I try to soak in everything you've said and relate it to why we started the show. I'm always like, wow, young people doing big things indeed. It's been nice speaking with Michael. And to you, our listeners, thanks for joining us. Once again, we'll be speaking with Michael Nwuju. He's a 17-year-old turning 18 this year, and he's already doing big things. He's a software developer at Topship, and he also runs his own startup, Eddify. We trust you will want to follow him on his social media, handles. Once again, this program has been brought to you by Eddify Software Development Academy. We are a software training institute based in Lagos. Thanks so much for joining us, and we look forward to your joining us next month. Bye for now.
Thank you, Esofta. Thank you, Sayinok.